All right, everybody, Jason Salas here, and I have three wonderful practitioners of our island's culture, our heritage, and especially our language. We have Edward Leon Gurel, Vanessa Duenas, and Dr. Kelly March Taitano from the University of Guam, and we are talking about a wonderful program. We are talking about Manamko to Manhoben, a time-honored tradition in our island culture. So, Hafaday to you all. Thank you so much for joining me. Sizus Masi.
Hafaday.
Okay, Ed, if you would, kind of give us some context about exactly, when we say from Manamko to Manhoben, that's, something, as I said, for people my age, it was such a wonderful experience to be able to talk to Nana and Tata, to our Ninas and our Ninos and everything, and to be able to get that wisdom and everything like that. How is that being used in this project?
Yeah, so you hit the nail on the head right there, where the purpose of the project and how we're utilizing that is that we're here to capture the experiences of the Manamku and of the elders so that we in our current generation and even generations to come could see their wisdom. And so that is one thing about that is our project is primarily an oral history project and that we are capturing through video recordings so that for example, we recorded people who live in Malesu so that people in the future, in 2050 or 2070, when we are all long gone, that they're going to see how Tsamorus lived a traditional lifestyle in the village of Malesu during the 1940s. So we could continue to impart the wisdom of our Manamku to the future generations. That's what we mean by Manamku to Manhoben.
Very nice. So, I mean, it's very often said that, our spirits are speaking, from the great beyond and passing their wisdom down to us, also telling us, don't make the same mistakes, that we may have made, and like we're doing to you, make sure that you share, what life lessons you have with the younger generation. Vanessa, was this project initiated because is this a tradition or an art that is waning as time goes on, or is this what was the motivation for this?
I think the motivation for this project was to be able to capture as much knowledge and experiences from the older generations for the younger generations to be able to look at and hear what they have to say, because, our elders are a very vital part of our community, but they're also the most vulnerable. And with COVID, it just kind of made everybody see that they're such treasures. And the younger generations today, we're all about social media now. So we're trying to make it also, their stories also digestible for social media platforms.
Mm. And Dr. Mark Taitano, even though that our culture and who we are as a people, we have such reverence for women and for the elderly. And I mean, it's ingrained in each and every one of us, Guamanians, Chamorros especially, to show them that earned reverence and that respect. But this as well as everyone, and you've always said this in your academic career and your political career, that communication is bidirectional. And so do the young people, could they possibly pass on knowledge to the elder generation?
That's a great question. I often say that sometimes when I have a technical question, I ask my granddaughter.
There you go.
Right?
But how does this Instagram thing work?
That's right. And it does work both ways. When Manamko know that the Manhoben are interested and engaged and listening, it really validates them, and it creates good feelings and strengthens their understanding of how important, maybe they think that they only have mundane information, just like everyday living information, and that they were nobody special. But every little nugget about how they lived, whether it was having mango trees and calamansi trees in their backyard, or how they used to go to the ranch and butcher their own pigs, all of that is just really important, and we treasure each bit of it. And so, yes, seeing the youth really care and be engaged about it, that does so much for the Manamko. And maybe it's going to inspire all of us to really reflect on what we want to maintain, or maybe even recapture. Maybe not too many of us actually go to the ranch anymore or go out with our uncles to hunt a tutu. But maybe after hearing some of these stories and seeing them on social media or wherever you see them, maybe that will inspire people to to make sure to ask their uncle to take them out with them next time.
I used to think it was so laborious and such a chore when my tata was said, you have to come with me out to the back and let's go, throw corn, to the chickens and everything. And I was like, where is this going to get me like in life? But then the walk and talk that he would share with me and everything like that, it took me several years later to really appreciate that. And maybe Ed and Vanessa, I'd like to pose the next question to the two of you is, when most people think of, Manumku these days, they always think, post World War II and a specific, demographic like of people. But I myself, I'm 48, so I am approaching like Manumku age. So what type of age range and what periods of time are you dealing with when you think of, like an older generation talking to a younger generation?
That's a very great, how do we conceptualize and operationalize Manumku? Who is included in that category?
Yeah.
Do we plan to interview you next too, Jason, because of you're 40 years of age, right? So that's a great question.
Take that. Yeah, I'm 48, but I'll take 40.
Yeah, and it absolutely is. So Manumku, it's generally older people. They don't have to be 80, they don't have to be 90, they don't even have to be 70. They could be 50 and above. They each bring everyone, older, they each have a unique craft and a unique tradition that they could bring to the table. And that is who we're targeting, And oftentimes when we see interviews in the past of Manumku, it's always directed towards the war. When
Right.
I was asking my grandma if I want, to interview her, she was like, my boy, I don't really know much about the war. I'm like, Grandma, I'm not here to interview you about the war. I'm here to interview you about your experiences growing up in Malesu. So we're also here to also break away from that fixation on the World War II period with the Manumku, because there are many more Manumku after the war that have many different experiences that is just not about the war. And Vanessa, would you like to comment?
Yeah, I was going to say, Vanessa, final word is yours as we wrap up. So this is by its nature, a very, very progressive project and incredibly, I would say incredibly necessary and incredibly impressive.
Yeah, it really is. And that's just one thing that I've noticed throughout all of our interviews is that every single one is so unique and every single one has so many lessons and things to learn from, just their own life experiences. They're really treasures.
Very nice. Okay, Kelly, we will have a final word is yours. You've been a very dear friend and a practitioner again of preserving our culture. Where can people, find this project and where can they reach out if they have any sort of feedback?
Awesome. So this is January 21st, this Saturday from 3 to 5 p.m. It's a totally free event in the indoor museum theater that's on the first floor. And so we're going to have Master Teledzero Anthony Guerrero. We're going to have Assumption Cruz, David Lujan Sablon. Many people know him as an artist. Robert Celestial and Rob Limtiaco, and we're going to cover just such a variety of topics. And if they want to reach out to us, we have an email, manumco and then the number 2, manhoben@gmail.com, or they can get a hold of us through Adzuta Foundation.
Very nice. All right. So Edward Leon Gurel, Vanessa Duenas, and Dr. Kelly Marsh-Tactino, thank you all. And we really look forward to covering this because this is a fantastic project. So kudos and Sizos Masi.
Hagamas.
All right.